Let's go racing on the streets of Baku. Richard Verschoor's got the launch. He needed massive crash in the background. Massive accident in the background involving one of the Campos cars that has been flicked over. We'll need a red flag. We need a red flag immediately. We've got a car upside down on the pit straight. Race control need to get involved with this, neutralize the race. Unfair for the drivers to still be racing on right now after a crash of such consequence. Richard Verschoor has the lead. Kimi Antonelli is in second place. It is Victor Martins in third. And we do now to the yellow car that won't get off the line on the left-hand side.
Yes, it's the yellow car of mine. He doesn't get off the line. And it's moment-by-moment reactions. Goethe making contact first. And then Marty just with absolutely nowhere to go as the car of mine, he slews across the road after the initial contact. It's worst case scenario, and it's always the drivers towards the rear of the field. But it's that's a horrible impact, and it is a rollover, isn't it, for Marty, who looked shaken on the pit wall, and I can understand why.
Thankfully, that car landing the right way up and not being pitched into the pit wall there. Horrible moment for Pepe Marti. Most important thing, thumbs up.
Right side of the championship in the West. Wing up and right, turn one. Who can make the jump? Wright gets a good initial bite. Alex Davison makes a stormer. Slots to the inside. That's massive. Oh, the slots on the grid. He was stalled on the grid and has been hit from behind.
That's
and Carl's moving, trying to get out of this car quickly. He's out of the car. That's good to see, because that has taken a massive hit from behind. The race is red flagged.
Look back in the pack. Carl stopped.
Oh
man.
And Dave Reynolds pulled out of the way. Owen completely unsighted. He had no chance.
He had nowhere to go, did he?
And that's just punched straight into the fuel cell. It's split the cell. The fuel's been ignited, but there's a whole lot of electrical apparatus in the back of the cars. There's fuel pumps in there. There's power and batteries and things in there. And I don't think I've ever seen anything quite as ferocious on a start line in terms of front to rear impact. That has devastated that car. That car will be just about over and out, I'd say.
I totally agree. I've never seen an impact as heavy as that on a start line anywhere. Oh, they got track 4 wide. We have contact and a huge crash right in the first corner, and the car's upside down. Elio Castroneves involved. Scott Dixon is involved. The 27 by Conway. And I cannot tell who that is. That's... Oh, it's Marco Andretti.
They're not really as closely lined up as they should be, but a lot of movement in the back section there as it is. Marco just gets himself in too strong. The back end starts to come around. Remember, the tires are cold. There is no temperature. The low pressures are there. You don't have the grip with the car as you would if you ended up running the car for a couple of laps. There again, look on the inside. Marco Andretti is now starting to dive down the inside. He's on the paint from the runway. There is no grip on that paint, and you can see what happens. Everybody else starts to just go around him trying to avoid it, and it just ends up with carnage with all cars going in all different directions.
Well, and it looked like Marco got some help from Elio Castroneves. Castroneves got into his rear tire and sort of pushed him over as well.
IndyCar racing is back in the Pacific Northwest. Great start, Alexander Rossi. He's already up to second. Here comes Hunter Ray in the yellow car. So the Andretti boys are trying to get through. Will everybody get through is the question to be answered.
What a jump by Power. Pagano having trouble in the back. Guys are bailing through the chicane. Where will they come out?
Oh, no!
Dixon. That's no good.
Dixon's in the middle of that.
Car upside down. Andretti, I think.
Scott Dixon is in the middle of that mess. No, it's not. It's Ed Jones. No, Dixon is. He's off to the side. Oh, no.
That car that came, I think, filing out of the chicane where he took the bail off caused that a stack up on everybody.
With the ability to continue, you see several cars take the exit. Dixon's on the outside in the back there, nowhere to go.
Oh. Andretti went right over the top of James Hinchcliffe.
I want to see how this started, Paul.
Yeah, I think Hinchcliffe lost it in front of the field. He got loose coming out of that kink and lost it, and then everybody just piled right into the back of him. It's single lane as you come out. But look at this. Here's an in-car. We'll get a good view here.
On board Dixon.
Comes out on the power. can't even see so much. How does he not hit anybody?
Unbelievable. Still curious what kicked this off.
This is Hinchcliffe, and we think this is the car that went sideways that was the catalyst for
Still
it.
out there. All right, you're clear through.
It's got Zach Veach. Veach is squeezing him.
He was all over the curb and just tried to ride the curb out. Look at Marco's car goes over the top, but he tried to ride up on that curb.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go racing, boys! I don't think Bobby Jr. heard me. 32 car didn't get a very good start.
Trouble back straight away. Car around. That was Bobby Labonte's second week in a row.
A lot of cars around.
Jeff
That's a
Gordon,
huge
the 24,
wreck.
Matt Kenseth in the 17. Remember, this is what happened to Bobby Labonte early in the race at Las Vegas.
They're still wrecking back there.
Kurt Busch, our points leader in the 97 car. And just like yesterday, we don't get through the first lap here. Bobby Labonte's not even in the top 35 right now. Well, it's Casey Mears that got loose first.
I think that really started a little further up with those guys reacting to what they saw.
For Bobby Labonte, though, who has won here 6 times, and that Joe Gibbs number 18, it is a second straight week of frustration. Scott Riggs may have got in the back of
He got into the back of Casey Kane and turned him right there, and here they go. But again, I believe Casey may have lifted because of what happened in front of him. Jeff Gordon doesn't make really hard contact, although he does make contact.
Dave Blaney squeaked through. There's Matt Kenseth 17. Travis Quaffle got it twice. And there Labonte comes to a halt right in front of Jeff Burton.
97 car, minor damage, I would think.
You're riding with Jeff Burton.
Clear low. Got a spin in front of you. Get down low if you can. Easy, easy. A lot of smoke. Can't help you a lot. Easy through here. Easy through. Easy through. Got them piled up in front of you.
Easy means easy.
Here they go. 3, 4 wide, just like you said, Walt.
Yep, now so you're going to get through. You want to be down on the bottom, I think, going through one of the first lap. You certainly don't want to make it 3 wide, but everybody looks like they behave themselves so far anyway, but you still got to get through 2 and 3 on the first lap.
Ricky Rudd gets the jump. He's the early leader. Oh, trouble! Steve Park is off into the infield. Another car valve over on his lid. It's Parkindale Jr. Terrible crash.
Man, Steve Park's car just turned dead left when he came off turn 2. Junior's running to see his teammate and see if he's okay.
And getting off into that wet grass wasn't going to do anything to slow those cars down. Caution is out. Ricky Rudd will lead the field back to the yellow.
There's Rusty Wallace. You see Park trying to squeeze up the outside.
I see he was trying to go on the outside of Rusty. Rusty moves up, they make contact, and Junior gets under the one car and just kind of bulldozed him into the wall and over.
Yeah, that's what actually turned him even more sideways. But I'll tell you what, that guardrail did the job.
Oh, it did a great job.
Took a lot of that absorbed a lot of impact right there.
Watch the yellow car back there just turn left.
And when you hit wet grass, it feels like you pick up 200 mile an hour.
But you can see how that barrier gave way when
absolutely
that car got into it.
That barrier absorbed a lot of energy, and I'll tell you what, that nice to see happen, because if that were a concrete wall, he would have taken
field away into the pits, and we're about to get underway. We are racing Honda Indy 300, 70 laps ahead of us, and what a charge from Kara, gets ahead of the Marta.
Yellow flag, there's an incident already, someone has lost it in the mist there, I believe. Yeah, there's a huge shunt. A huge shunt. Fernandez is involved. We've got cars ripped apart here, and that's entirely predictable. There was conjecture before the start as to whether they'd run single or double file. They went back to the standard and conventional starting process. Takaji's in there, one of the players' Forsyth cars, red flag. So that is, oh dear, someone's upside down and burning. This is the worst crash we have ever seen here in the 12 years of the Honda Indy 300, and it happened as they barely crossed the start-finish line. I could see the yellow flag fly from the starter's rostrum, but I could not see in the mist. Out of the Honda hairpin. The overhead shot. Now this, Adrian's backed it in. Oh, there's massive contact there. Oh, my goodness me, that is shocking. Nakano has gone in massive speed. Straight has absolutely ploughed into Takagi, who's launched over Fernandez. That is a frightening racing car incident, folks. On board with Michael Andretti. Look at this. All of a sudden launches into the back of one of the players' cars, and my goodness me, how did he get out of that? We know that Michael is okay, folks. What an unbelievable scene. But we are not too sure about Toru Takagi. I didn't see Vassar in that earlier shot of the stationary car.
3 seconds later they go out. When the lights go out, the race is on. The first ever Grand Prix of Indianapolis is about to start. Oh, the pole sitter doesn't get going. Oh!
There is not a worse place to stall than at the start of a race. I hope they're okay.
Visor is up, telling everybody that he's okay. Steering wheel is coming off. Talked about the pressure of sitting on the front row here at Indianapolis.
Saavedra is in it. He was hit by Mikhail Aloshin in the 7. That is Aloshin being attended to there. Juan Pablo Montoya crashed further back up the track into the outside wall.
The car on your left-hand side will not get off the grid.
He didn't even move.
Saavedra. Everybody else is starting to go around him. Now the car coming from the back doesn't see him. And that first car that hits him is Carlos Munoz. And then from then on, the debris is flying.
I think Montoya just stalled back there too.
Could be. There could be a problem starting the...
Charlie Kimball, I think, on the right-hand side, also just a slow start. Oh, he just about got through, but... And it all happens so very fast because there is spotters here for these drivers to tell them what's...
In die erste Kurve. So, die Ampel ist eingeblendet. Auch hinten sieht das ganz gut aus. Und die Rennleitung gibt das Rennen frei. Und los geht's. Vollgas, der Lamborghini vorne. Das schwarze Auto. Und da gibt's gleich einen heftigen Unfall, der zum Abbruch führen wird. Mit einem mehrmaligen Überschlag. Das ist mal richtig in die Hose gegangen. Und das muss rot geben. Um Gottes Willen, was für ein Unfall. Rot ist draußen. Jetzt müssen wir erstmal gucken, dass da alle okay sind. Riesencrash. Das sind Sandritter Klingmann, da ist ein Audi von Abt, der sich mehrmals überschlagen hat, Toni Seidel. Wir werden Ihnen in Patricks Analyse mal die ersten Bilder zuspielen. Achten Sie auf die Mitte des Bildes.
Der Mercedes, der HTP-Mercedes, der war eigentlich ausschlaggebend. Der hatte schon mal angezuckt und dann musste er zurücknehmen, die Corvette. Die 1er Corvette ist ausgewichen und dann ging das eigentlich los, diese Kettenreaktion. Das müssen wir auch jetzt nochmal uns in Ruhe anschauen. Aber der HTP-Mercedes von Maximilian Götz, der hat kurz gezuckt, musste dann, weil das Rennen nicht freigegeben war, nochmal zurücknehmen vom Gas und dann wichen quasi alle aus. Und wir sehen hier die Berührung zwischen dem Auto von Niki Thiem mit der 11 im Audi, trifft im Prinzip Daniel Keilwitz, dreht sich dann quer durchs Feld fliegend und dann gibt es einfach diese Kettenreaktion. Klingmann mit rausgerissen, Sven Barth mit...
MX5 Cup presented by BF Goodrich Tyres. Race 2 at Watkins Glen International is green. Down towards the first corner. Jared Thomas tries to come around the outside of the red car with the yellow rule too, but he can't get it done. But he slots nicely into second behind Celine Roulin, who had a cracker of a start. But now we're 2 and 3 wide behind the leaders, and it looks like Jared Thomas has eased his way onto the right-hand side of the track. For a moment he took the lead. Here comes Noecker as well in the number 13, the black and white car. Oh, there's a spin. Matthew Dirks has gone around. This is going to be another big one. Huge incident. Huge incident.
That's Woody Hyman.
Hyman getting kicked around. All kinds of debris from the sponsors, logos.
Nate Cesro's in there too, I'm sorry to say, from Macomb Macular Racing, the young man going for Rookie of the Year into the pit lane before the start.
Silver car in the middle of 3, so that was the battle for 5th position. He's got the 55 to his right. Now, does he get a little clip? Oh, he just, basically, he's the meat in the sandwich there. And James Hinchcliffe's to his left. Matthew goes left and right and left and right. I've got it, I don't got it. Hits Hyman, and that is the catalyst for everything else.
Wow.
Dirk gets spun around. Then we had Woody Hyman in the middle of the track. Some absolutely ace avoidance by the cars that were coming up from around about 10th, 11th and 12th down, and somebody ran over their own wheel. So the top 4 are clear at the moment, and that was a big hit from Woody, who was catapulted across the track.
Gosh, Clayton Ketcher gets thrown up in the air.
That was the car that ran over its own right front.